Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Our temperatures are cold this morning. Teens almost everywhere. We are sitting at 23 in Durham and Raleigh. I'll show you when we're going to see our temperatures starting to warm up.
Possible new developments. The update we may get today in the case against the man accused of killing UNC student Faith Hedgepeth more than a decade ago.
Double murder charge. Reaction from the families of a man and teen killed in Hillsborough as the man police say shot them is due in court today. A lot to tell you about here on this bitterly cold Thursday morning. A lot of towns in the teens right now. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. It's great to have you along. Thanks for making us part of your routine here. The Friday Eve here. I don't even think that's going to make it feel any better out there this morning because it is so cold. We'll get you ready for the dangerously cold air out there before you leave your house. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now.
It is clear out there right now, and the wind is calm. And so for the most part, the wind is calm. So that's a good thing. Wind, as you can see here, has gone calm again at RDU. That is key because just a little bit of wind can really make it feel colder than it actually is. 23 is our current temperature right now, and we're looking at, of course, teens across the rest of the viewing area, except for Fayetteville at 20, 19 Southern Pines and Clinton, 17 Goldsboro and South Hill, it's 18 in Roxborough. So very cold out there. Temperatures are running anywhere from 5 to 6 degrees to as much as 15 degrees colder than they were this time yesterday. But yesterday we had a wind chill, so thankfully we don't today. Here's what happens today. We'll climb to 42 at lunchtime. We will see our wind shifting this afternoon to southerly. That's going to warm us up to around 50, which is warmer than our high yesterday, but will also become a bit breezy during the afternoon. Lots of things headed our way in the next 4 or 5 days. Saturday, we'll see some scattered light rain. On Sunday, we may see some lingering moisture. If that continues overnight Sunday, it could be mixed with a little wintry precipitation. We've been talking about next week, but right now it looks less likely that we would see any wintry precipitation. But we'll talk about all of those coming up. Ken?
All right, at 6:02, Elizabeth, on this cold morning, we'll keep it outside, give you a live look at one of our major routes this morning, I-40 and Airport Boulevard. Traffic beginning to pick up just a bit, but moving nicely in both directions. We just really have no major incidents to report, but we do have a disabled vehicle right here on Rock Quarry Road in the eastbound lane near Jones Sausage Road. We're not seeing any delays in that area, but just watch as police help that motorist. We're all hearing a report of some type of road debris on I-540 westbound near Falls of Neuse Road. We're working to figure out what that is, but as you look at 540 this morning, it's not having any delays in that area. You're getting ready to head out this morning, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
Yeah, so not the day you want to let the kids leave the house without a coat, no matter what they say. We have team coverage of this dangerous Arctic blast all morning long on WRAL, even though it's bumped up a couple degrees out at the airport. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione joins us live near Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh. Anthony, this is our 10th morning in a row, sub-freezing temperatures.
Yeah, we got down, Jeff, officially to 21 degrees at RDU. I have the hot cup of coffee. We stopped. It's really feeling good here, and that's what I would encourage you to do this morning. Or if you like ice cold coffee or something else, just whatever kind of gets you warmed up here this morning. We're out here. I want to show you, we've been watching people getting their coffee, kind of starting the morning off here for your Thursday. We're at Old Raleigh Village. You can see a beautiful shot to start off. But I also want to direct your attention. Look at this snow that is still sticking around. And I got to say, this is a rock hard ice cube there. There's a lot more over here. You can see just kind of stuck in all these parking lots. This is what we're dealing with across the area with those temperatures in the low 20s and still continuing here through the next couple mornings. As far as the streak, though, that we have hit so far, this is the 10th morning that we have seen temperatures at 32 degrees or below. The last time that we did that, you have to go all the way back to 2018. That year we had about 16 days in a row. I don't think we will quite get there, but still to even be talking about a streak like that, it goes to show you just how chilly it is. Headed out this morning, though, what I would do is I'd make sure to kind of have a mental checklist for yourself, for the kiddos, the gloves, the hats, the earmuffs, anything to keep yourself warm. We are looking at temps this afternoon in the low 50s, but this morning for sure, it's going to be a good forecast here to bundle up as you're headed out. We'll continue to track it, though, but for now, I'm meteorologist Anthony Baglione here at Old Raleigh Village on the north side of Raleigh for WRAL News. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Anthony, enjoy that coffee and that caffeine. Well, today we may get an update on where the case stands for the man accused of murdering UNC student Faith Hedgepeth back in 2012. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at the Durham County Courthouse. And Kelsey, this is a case that captivated the country, and we could learn the next steps today.
Yes, Renee, we've been following this case now for more than a decade, and today attorneys from this case will go inside the courthouse today and update the judge. It's been more than 3 years since Miguel Enrique Salguero Olivares was arrested and charged with murder. That arrest came nearly 10 years after UNC student Faith Hedgepeth was found beaten to death in her apartment. We recently reported Salguero Olivares is now facing new charges: first-degree burglary, first-degree rape, and first-degree sexual offense. WRAL obtained court records back in 2023. They explained why it's taken so long to try Salguero Olivares. One reason is there's so much evidence, more than 39,000 pages. Those court records also show the state listed 30 expert witnesses they expect to call to trial.
If he stops shooting, that'd be.
And we'll have a crew here at today's hearing to keep you updated on what happens next. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
6:05 here in the WRAL Live Center. Good morning. I am Chris Lovingood, getting you a live look right now in Jerusalem at the Western Wall as people are there writing down prayers, putting them in the cracks of the wall there. This is all happening after overnight at least 40 people were killed in airstrikes in Gaza, though Reuters is reporting that number could actually be at least 70. And this all happened not long after a ceasefire and hostage release deal was announced between Israel and Hamas. But it wouldn't go into effect until Sunday, and it will only be official when Israel's security leadership approves this. But one challenge that we're already starting to see right now is Israel's prime minister is sort of accusing Hamas of going back on parts of that deal there, even though Hamas leadership is saying that they are committed to making something happen, at least for this deal as it was presented. We'll continue to follow that here in the WRAL Live Center.
And furthering that, Chris, Prime Minister in Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, his office says his cabinet will not meet to approve that ceasefire deal until Hamas backs down. Palestinians celebrated the ceasefire announcement on the West Bank yesterday. The deal is expected to go in place Sunday. It would end 15 months of fighting. But now Israel's security cabinet claims Hamas is reneging on some parts of that deal. Hamas leaders responded by saying they are committed to the agreement. WRAL's Michelle McConaughey joins us this morning. And Michelle, those families of the hostages being held by Hamas are left waiting to see what happens next. And that includes loved ones of Chapel Hill native Keith Siegel.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. Siegel and his wife, Aviva, were both taken hostage on October 7th of 2023. And this deal will finally send him home. Siegel and Aviva were taken hostage during a Hamas-led attack that killed more than 1,000 people in Israel and led to hundreds being kidnapped. In a ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel back in 2023, Aviva and a 4-year-old girl were among the hostages released by Hamas. Wednesday's agreement is the first ceasefire between the two parties since then. His childhood friend tells WRAL this is a moment he's been waiting for.
I really hope that he comes back with his spirit intact and can come back and be the kind of person he always was.
And the White House confirmed that Siegel and another American hostage, Segui Dekel Chen, will be freed in the first phase of this agreement if that happens. Senator Tom Tillis and Governor Josh Stein expressed joy over Siegel's impending return. Tillis saying it's good to see the Biden administration and Trump transition team working together to get this deal done, hopefully.
Michelle, thanks for that. WRAL News has covered the Israel-Hamas war since the fighting began in October 2023. To watch those stories, you can tap the link of today's coverage at the top of WRAL.com.
We're working to learn more about a shooting in Hope Mills that killed a person. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was on scene on John Smith Road last night. Police say they detained several people and questioned them. Investigators have not said if any of those people were arrested. No details on the person who died have been released as of this morning.
The 19-year-old accused of killing 2 people in Hillsborough last month will be in court today. Kenyon Cameron faces 2 counts of first-degree murder. He was arrested yesterday, more than 2 weeks after the bodies of 20-year-old DeAnthony Morgan and 16-year-old Zakira Wardlow were found in a car December 29th. Morgan's parents say the arrest is a relief.
We buried DeAnthony yesterday. So with this news coming today, it is definitely some relief.
WRAL previously reported on Cameron in 2023 when he was charged with communicating threats of mass violence at Cedar Ridge High School in Hillsborough.
In a farewell address from the Oval Office, President Biden looked to shape his legacy. He touted the announcement of a ceasefire and hostage deal between Israel and Hamas. He also pointed to strengthened alliances, pandemic recovery, and gains in jobs, infrastructure, and prescription drug costs.
It will take time to feel the full impact of all we've done together. But the seeds are planted, and they'll grow and they'll bloom for decades to come.
Biden also addressed threats from climate change, the spread of misinformation on social media, and the promise and peril of artificial intelligence. Biden urged Americans to keep pushing forward. President Biden is set to attend Monday's inauguration of President-elect Trump, along with the three other living former presidents, Obama, Clinton, and Bush.
Governor Josh Stein plans to announce new action today to protect reproductive freedoms in North Carolina. He'll speak at a conference in Charlotte at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll have details about his announcement in our evening newscasts. Also today, we'll learn more about a Durham man charged with helping ISIS. The U.S. Attorney's Office and FBI have a joint news conference about the case this afternoon at 2:30. 29-year-old Alexander White, you see him here in this photo. He was arrested at RDU in December. He was trying to get on a flight to Morocco to join the terrorist group. Court documents show White communicated with an undercover FBI agent online about his desire to join ISIS.
More people are dying from the flu in North Carolina. How doctors are using trends from previous years to predict how tough this flu season will be.
Back to school. How students in Southern California are getting back to class now after their classrooms were destroyed by fire.
And it's an awfully cold start this morning. 23 in the Triangle, 20 in Fayetteville. Everybody else checking in the teens this morning. I'll show you how many more cold mornings like this are in our forecast.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:14. It's a nice start in downtown Durham. You know, if you're a penguin, it's really, really cold out there. Skies are clear, though. Our temperatures across the area are mostly in the teens. Fayetteville's checking in at 22, and officially in Durham, it's 23. But look at this, 19 in Southern Pines, 18 Lewisburg, 17 in Irwin and in South Hills. This is definitely one of the colder mornings that we've seen so far this season, but it doesn't stop here. We bump up a little bit over the weekend and see some rain, and then we're going to dive back into the deep freeze again next week. Walking the dog this morning, obviously, you're going to want the gloves, the hats. It's the gloves and hats, scarf kind of a morning for us. This afternoon, though, we start to change things up. Our wind will come out of the south. It becomes a little breezy and warmer with a high of 50. Of course, we're going to check in with our chances for rain this weekend. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, keeping it outside on this really cold morning, checking your morning commute. You want to start with this live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue. Traffic is picking up just a bit, but you can see it's flowing nicely in both directions. Our friends in Apex and all points south, if you're using US 1 coming north this morning, you get to Highway 55 on US 1 all the way, clear sailing all the way to I-40 this morning. Nothing to worry about there, especially if you're getting ready to head out. We're working to figure out what that road debris is on I-540 westbound near Falls of Neuse Road, but as you can see, it's not causing any delays there in I-540. You're getting ready to head out this morning. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. We'll keep you updated throughout the Triangle.
Ken, thanks. A fire at a Helene debris collection site over in western North Carolina is being investigated as a possible criminal act. Fire crews were called to the southern debris removal site yesterday morning in Weaverville, near Asheville. Authorities say the area was approved for a controlled burn to process debris from Helene. However, the approved burn operation had not started yet. The fire is contained. It is not threatening surrounding areas.
Future of TikTok is still uncertain as the Supreme Court has yet to rule on the case challenging its ban. That ban is set to go into effect Sunday unless TikTok severs ties with its China-based parent company ByteDance. President-elect Donald Trump is considering an executive order to save it once he takes office. It would suspend the enforcement of the sale or ban of TikTok for at least 60 days. It's unclear when the Supreme Court will rule on the case.
Students whose schools burned down during the California wildfires are returning to class. 2 elementary schools in Pacific Palisades resumed using temporary spaces this week. The schools have more than 700 students. The superintendent of the Los Angeles Unified School District says at least a third of all students in the county have been affected by the fires in some way. All but 9 of the county's schools have reopened.
Raleigh police are investigating gunshots fired at an apartment complex on Avon Ferry Road. This was the scene when the WRAL breaking news tracker got there last night. We are told police spent several hours collecting evidence there. We're working to find out if anyone was hurt out of this.
Keeping your family safe from the road's biggest dangers.
I think about my kids, I think about my loved ones, my parents, anybody that's out on the road.
Tonight at 6, WRAL Investigates gets a rare look at the specialized unit protecting us from tractor trailers on the roads, why the work is more important here than almost any other state, and how the hefty fines they issue go to help our communities.
In the past week, 15 people in North Carolina have died from the flu. That is the most reported in a single week so far this season. 40 people have died total from the flu this season, all adults. As of Saturday, 576 people are being treated for the flu, 590 for COVID, about 270 for RSV. These viruses make up 75% of hospital admissions across our state. Hospitalizations went down week over week, but doctors say we should still be careful.
If you go back to 2019, the peak of RSV and flu were right around January, February. So I would say based on national trends and what we're seeing across North Carolina right now in our emergency departments, I would say to anticipate a peak around February for flu.
So if you haven't gotten your seasonal vaccinations yet, doctors say it's not too late and it's still a good idea to get one.
We'll get you ready for the dangerously cold air before leaving your home. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking those temperatures. No wind chill this morning. And Elizabeth, Raleigh seems to be the quote unquote warmer spot.
It does. Kind of the outlier this morning. Temperature around 23. We did drop down to 21 a little earlier. Everybody else on the map showing up in the teens, though. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all clear this morning. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. And as Renee said, we don't have a wind chill to deal with, which is good news. But we're still talking about temperatures in the teens as the kids are getting on the bus this morning. Keep that in mind. It'll be a little different as they get off the bus. Playground time this afternoon in the low to mid 40s, but we'll climb to 50 this afternoon. Our wind is going to shift to southerly around the middle of the day, become breezy, and that's going to warm us back up to around 50 degrees. We have some showers well to our south. This is where the rain's going to come from this weekend. We have a front that'll start to develop to our west and pick up some of that moisture and push it our way just in time for some rain on Saturday. The cold air retreats before that happens. We'll see most of the rain on Saturday, maybe a little bit left over early on Sunday, but then the models are showing something pretty interesting. First of all, let's watch what happens as we get into Saturday. Saturday at 7 a.m. we're dry, but as we get into the afternoon, we'll see some rain. It looks pretty light, around 1/4 inch, just not going to be a big rainmaker for us. A lot of the moisture and energy will actually pull north toward the low. And then we'll see the cold front come through Saturday night. After that, we'll see cold air starting to spill in, and the models start to show the development of a disturbance behind the front. That's when we start to see the cold air arriving. And if the two of those collide on Sunday night into Monday morning, it's possible that we would see some wintry precipitation. Outdoor plans over the weekend, we're going to give it a yellow light, maybe even an orange light. It's just going to be a bit wet for us on Saturday, especially afternoon and evening. Sunday looks a little better. We may end up with a few scattered showers in the morning and then potentially dry during the afternoon. Let's talk about our chance of snow on Sunday. Watch how we see a little bit of that showing up Sunday night into early Monday. It looks very light, as you can see, but up near the Virginia line, that really looks like our best chance of any wintry precipitation in the next 7 days. Our temperatures next week drop down well below normal, but our chance of snow or wintry mix is looking a little bit less likely for next week. We're still watching for it. There's still a low that's going to sit offshore. Just the big question is it going to come far enough in to bring us any precipitation or not? not. Right now it looks like not, but that could change. Look at these temperatures next week, 28 Tuesday, 29 on Wednesday. We're going to talk more about our precipitation for the weekend coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, at 6:22, we want to keep it in the Bull City this morning, give you a live look at one of our major routes, I-40, I-885. Traffic has definitely picked up and flowing nicely in both directions. Keeping it in the Bull City of I-885 is part of your commute, whether you're going into Durham or leaving Durham. No delays whatsoever, which is really good news. Back in Wake County, if I-40 westbound or any part of the Beltline is part of your commute, clear sailing this morning, so you don't have anything to worry about. You're getting ready to head out this morning. 101.5 HD3 will keep you updated throughout the Triangle.
Thanks, Ken. A pilot accused of being drunk before takeoff. How authorities at a Georgia airport were able to stop him before he took control of a Southwest Airlines plane.
A series of fires, what crews say caused them all to start along a local highway at nearly the same time.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Timothée Chalamet got into a little trouble for an unusual reason after the London premiere of his new movie.
Park job problems.
Yeah.
Ken Smith here now with What's Trending,
Just
Ken.
needed a ride, right? The star of the Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown, rode a Lime bike under the red carpet for the event, but he was later fined 65 pounds, or about $80, for not parking it properly.
You might be like, how come he didn't take a taxi, a limo, something, a car? There was a lot of traffic and he was running late, so he hopped on the bike to make it to the premiere on time. Now he has to shell out some bucks because of that.
People that handle that, right?
People can handle
Take that bike with the bike in a spot.
Well, you know, we heard of neighbors helping neighbors. This time it's celebrities helping neighbors in California. Some big name comedians are coming together to help others affected by the California fires. Patton Oswalt, Bob Odenkirk, and Zach Galifianakis and others are putting on a fundraiser called All Comedy All Stars 2025. It's happening in Los Angeles later this month.
Yeah, at the Fonda Theater there. And North Carolina's own Zach Galifianakis, John Hamm will be part of it as well. All you got to do is put a bunch of funny people together in one place and raise some money. They're all coming together in Hollywood in one way or the other, right?
Good cause.
Ken, thanks.
Our temperatures this morning are in the teens, but I'll show you what's going to change with our pattern to start to warm things up just in time for some rain in our forecast.
And we're following the latest on the Israel-Hamas deal that could pause the war in Gaza. What a Durham County commissioner says needs to be done after the fact.
And the man accused of killing 2 people in Hillsborough last month is due in court today. How the victims' families are responding after the arrest of a 19-year-old.